This is Spinnaker3 back with another amazing Mojo showcase, and today we'll actually be taking on one of the tougher bosses of Act 7, which is the Gwenperion boss in Act 7, Chapter 1, Quest 6. And this is one of the 3 mix-up bosses that you can take. So the team that we will be taking obviously has Mojo. I'm going to be bringing in Guardian for the extra block proficiency that he gives. And the most important synergy here is with M.O.D.O.K, where heavy attacks allow me to incinerate the opponent for 6 seconds. And that number is actually going to be very important in the later part of the fight. So the tricky part about this Gwenperion is that she has Selective Timestream, where every 20 seconds, if I don't have an Incinerate or a Shock on her, she will regenerate up to full health. And so it's important that I have the M.O.D.O.K synergy along so that Mojo actually gets the ability to incinerate Gwenperion. So this is actually my first fight taking this Gwenperion with Mojo. So you'll notice that I was going to play around a little in the beginning just to see what works, what doesn't. And it ended up working so good that I thought I would just complete the run right there. So Mojo also doesn't have energy attacks on his base hits, which means that Gwenperion won't regenerate it. Now you'll notice here that I took the blocked hit just to complete the prompt quickly, because right now that's just my goal. I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to actually get my heavy attack to land on Gwenperion so that the timer will actually not regenerate Gwenperion up to full health. So I need the incinerate to stick. You'll notice that here it did not stick. And so the incinerate that I get from M.O.D.O.K's synergy is 6 seconds long. And you'll notice that the timer for Selective Timestream is 20 seconds long. So as long as I get my incinerate on Gwenperion, when the timer is about 3/4 of the way through, then my incinerate will stick. So that's the first part I wanted to check. You'll notice right there, I countered her special 2 with my heavy. That was a test to see that if my heavy attack had enough reach to actually counter her special 2. And so at this point, I've realized a few things. One, I cannot counter Gwenperion's special 1 with my heavy attack, but I can counter her special 2 with it. This is very important because Gwenperion gets incredible amounts of power gain, so she's going to be constantly throwing specials. So if I have no easy opening to actually get my heavy attack onto Gwenperion, then I have no way to ensure that my incinerates will stick for the duration of the whole fight. So it's important that I'm able to retaliate after the special 2 to just constantly keep an incinerate on her to ensure that the Selective Timestream doesn't heal her up to full. You'll notice right here was the end of this part of the run where she ended up healing to full, but I'm now fully ramped up Mojo, and this is where the real run begins. Now all I need to do is make sure that there is always an incinerate on her when Selective Timestream kicks in so she doesn't heal up to full. So I'm using special 3s instead of special 2s, which I usually don't do, because his special 2s are energy projectiles, which means Gwenperion will just regenerate a lot more health. It's easier to just get the special 3 off, get some good damage on the special 3, and it also helps complete some prompts, which is also very nice. You notice that Gwenperion almost always has a degeneration on her because her power gain is just constantly expiring from the anti-life field. One interesting thing to note, though, is that Mojo reduces buff duration by 90%, but Hyperion's abilities on Gwenperion actually increase the buff duration. So that's why you'll notice that the power gains actually stay on for a significant amount of time. Well, you'll notice here I was able to weave in a parry and a heavy right before Selective Timestream hit. I waited for my buff prompt to recycle so that I could use the special 3 right here to complete the prompt. So it looks like Gwenperion is going down fairly quickly. So it's just a question of whether I can keep up the incinerate duration for long enough. And surprisingly enough, Mojo is hitting very hard. Gwenperion has 600,000 hit points, and Mojo is still able to take it down incredibly quickly. I believe the fight in total will take about 5 minutes, but that's with the parts that Gwenperion healed up in full to. He takes 600,000 health in around 3 minutes, which is absolutely bonkers considering that Mojo isn't really rated as highly as, say, Cosmic Ghost Rider on most people's tier list. But he really packs that damage punch, especially when there's a lot of buffs to take control of. You notice I'm using my special 3s towards the beginning of her Selective Timestream cycle just to ensure that I have enough time to get a heavy attack on her when the timer is 3/4 of the way full. So you notice the timer just passed 3/4 of the way full. She launched a special 2 and I countered with my heavy. So that was the important part. Since Mojo's heavy attack can counter Gwenperion's special, I was able to get it in time instead of having to wait for another parry and heavy. And I can't take anything on the block because Gwenperion is constantly unblockable with her specials because she has more than 10 prowesses on her. So at this point, Mojo's doing some very good work. Gwenperion's about 30% more health left, and the fight is going just about as well as I could have hoped. You'll notice that the cycle just keeps repeating over and over again. Sometimes the spacing on the special 2 is a little iffy to weave in the heavy on, but even if I can't get it all the time, I'm still able to get it most of the time, and that's what really counts. I mean, most champions are hardly able to keep an incinerate on Gwenperion to actually get her down. So the fact that Mojo's even able to do this boss fight in the first place is absolutely incredible. And it just adds another reason to why Mojo is such a good champion. When I first did this fight, I was actually roadblocked for a while because I didn't have, say, Warlock, Magneto, or Ronin. I ended up doing it with Elsa Bloodstone, but after seeing this, I honestly wish I went with Mojo. I mean, just look at how fast she's draining. She was at 30%, like what, 20 seconds ago, and she's already down to 10. Like, there's very few selective time stream cycles for me to even keep track of. So the pressure and stress really isn't there. It's just a lot of hits. You'll notice 247. That may be a very high hit count, but you have to understand Mojo's special 3 hits a lot of time. So a lot of this does come from the special 3. And you'll notice that Gwenperion just dropped in 247 hits. So I hope you all enjoyed watching Mojo absolutely obliterate that Gwenperion boss. And if you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe and leave a comment of what you want to see Mojo do next. And I'll catch you later.